let's get back into our conversation now. And actually, let's start a fresh conversation, but one that has been bubbling for a while around Mandera. We've seen very disturbing headlines around the presence of foreign armed forces on Kenyan soil from Jubaland, and you say, how can that happen? What do you mean 32 days have passed while there's foreign armed forces in Mandera County and no one seems to be batting an eyelid? And some people say, you know what, that's kawaida. What do you mean? Some people say that's not a real thing.
We're used to this thing.
There's so many conflicting narratives, but we have Abdulaziz Mohamed in studio with us. He is a fixer, he is a leader, a politician. He has also told us that June 25th should be our Independence Day previously on this show. It's good to have you back, Abdul.
Thank you so much.
Karibu.
Glad to be back.
Before to get back home, Before to get someone in Ingine, Jana will give you the quote of the day, and then we can proceed.
Absolutely. Shailja Patel once said, Kenyans work 3 jobs to eat, and leaders call that resilience. That's what she said.
Kenyans
We work 3 jobs to eat, and yet leaders call that resilience. Is that really resilience? What do you make of that quote? Do you agree with her? Do you think, yeah, we're resilient?
We are naturally resilient, but it's not the leaders to call us resilient. Yeah, we are
It's not the reason to call us resilient.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should not be.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Kenyans are naturally resilient. Yeah.
As the previous guest said, being told we are hardworking isn't necessarily a compliment.
A compliment, yeah.
Hey, Kenyans are hardworking. Do we want to work this hard? Must we?
Nanita Punda, basically.
Yeah.
That is it. That is it.
Punda, but they are very proud of their Pundaism and working hard.
You're right, because they get depressed when they don't have work.
Yes.
But now it's, how do we treat them?
That's how they've been socialized.
Yes.
That kama ufanyi kazi wewe si punda.
Ni kama wanasiasa wa Kenya na kusema uongo. When you put them on the spot and tell them to be honest,
they're like, that's not how that's not how we play this game.
Wanaanza kumeza Panadol.
They can't be politicians. Abdulaziz, you're a politician.
Yes.
I'm not. I'm a political animal.
What is
It's different from being politician.
Okay.
Yeah. Siasa iko ndani mwangu. Mimi si mwanasiasa.
Ungependa kuwa mwanasiasa?
Inategemea na watu.
Okay.
Wakikubali.
Spoken like a real politician. Depends on what the people say. You call for me.
Their wish is my command.
Wow. Okay.
Abdul, there's been this issue of, it started with the governor of Mandera.
Yes.
Coming out to say, you know what, there have been some conflict between the Jubaland forces, and these are forces from Somalia, and the Somalia national government forces. There have been clashes within Somalia, and when the Jubaland forces were defeated in the recent bout, they crossed over into Kenya.
Defeated in quotes.
Yeah, he didn't say it in quotes. He said when they were defeated, they crossed over into Kenya. And now they've come over into Kenya, into an area of Kenya called Border Post 1. It's a small town, there's a school there, and they've actually moved into that school. Took a couple of days, and then we started hearing other leaders. The senator of Mandera, who is the former governor of Mandera, spoke. We've heard from nominated MP Suleha Harun, who has spoken. We've heard from other MPs from the area speaking around the issue. We've seen locals talking and saying, yes, there are foreign forces who are here, and that is affecting us. Is that true?
And before I say whether it's true or not, let me first tackle the complexity of this Jubaland issue. And, you know, Jubaland is one among the federal states, many federal states in Somalia. And to us Kenyans, Jubaland is not just a region in Somalia. Jubaland is our frontline buffer against Al-Shabaab. And we share a very long border with Jubaland that starts from Lamu up to Mandera, where we are talking about. And any crisis in Jubaland is not a distant crisis from us, because this is our buffer zone. And anytime there is a crisis in Jubaland, it spills over to Kenya. The tension and the politics also spills over to Kenya. Now, this crisis we are seeing right now is not new. we have had a similar crisis in 2019 when Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo was the president of Somalia then. What happened was the current Jubaland president, who is Ahmed Madobe, ran for elections, won. Mogadishu rejected the result.
Won for elections where?
In Jubaland.
Okay, not for
presidential elections for Jubaland.
Not for president of Somalia.
No, the state president. The state president of Jubaland.
Yes.
So he won as the state president for Jubaland. Mogadishu then, headed by the federal government, headed by Farmajo, rejected the result, and Farmajo then deployed Somali National Army to Gedo region. Violence erupted, and the people of Mandera then lived through the tension. Now we are also having a similar script. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who is the current president, is also having the same problem with the current Jubaland president, who is Ahmed Madobe. Madobe went for election in 2024, won. Again, Mogadishu rejected it. Now this one is framed differently. It is framed as Mogadishu is rejecting Madobe's second term, saying that it is against it's like undermines the federal government's agenda. Now, in 2019, when Farmajo was the president, he wanted to, solidify his power, centralize his power, and by undermining the autonomy of Jubaland. Kenya then stood with Ahmed Madobe because he's seen as a very credible partner in keeping Kismayo stable and also protecting the people of Mandera from Al-Shabaab. So he's an ally, to say so. Ethiopia then was pro-Somalia. And when the violence erupted, they deployed their troops together to counter the Jubaland forces. And Kenya, remember Kenya stood with Madobe. This has created a political rivalry between Kenya and Ethiopia then when it comes to matters of Somali politics. Now, things are a bit different. And Ethiopia is not with Somalia, the federal government, because they are a bit weak. They're having their own internal problems. And Kenya has signed a trade and security agreement with Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, the federal president. And they cannot also abandon Madobe, who is seen as a very credible partner in ensuring our borders are safe. So, that is a breakdown in a nutshell of what Jubaland means. So Jubaland is very important to us as Kenyans.
I think it's very important context that you've given.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are not aware that even Somalia's federal system and state system, how long the border is, people again are not aware. How porous the border is, people are not aware.
And why this matters, what's been happening over the last
it's not
weeks.
a distant problem. Whatever happens there is not just happening over there. It affects our politics inside and our security. Instability in Jubaland means instability in our border counties.
Now, you've spoken to Jubaland's role in one being a buffer because of proximity between us and Somalia, and in protecting the people of Mandera from Al-Shabaab. What does that look like?
In terms of?
In terms of the protection, what kind?
What is happening now, there is chaos there's a problem between the federal state and Jubaland state, which is not happening for the first time. Now, things have changed. The trigger is the same. Let's be realistic about this issue, according to how I broke it down. The trigger is the same. Whatever happened in 2019 is happening now. What has changed? Why so much hulabalu and noise locally? What has changed is the behavior of the local and the regional leaders. And their reaction. But the trigger is just the same. What is happening is just a copy-paste of what is happening is a copy-paste of what has happened. And I am sorry to say this. the real issue on the ground in Mandera is far much different from what the governor and the senator are saying. And for me, knowing what goes on in the region, and being one person who comes from the region, whenever I see the governor and the senator speak, I cannot look at it at face value. I have to question, I have to look deeply, and I can only describe it as a movie, you know, directed and financed.
Pause there. Just 1 second.
Yes.
Trying to understand. Do Jubaland forces patrol the border with Somalia?
On the other side,
On the
yes.
other side,
Yes, yes.
And do Kenya Defense Forces patrol the border on
Yes,
our end?
yes.
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 Is there, you know, what do they call it?
Cooperation.
Yes, cooperation.
Cooperation is there, but what is not there is somebody come to the media and saying schools have been turned into training camp. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a big lie. Yeah.
When were you last in Mandera?
No, I have relatives who are there.
When were they last in Border Town 1? Border
Post.
Post 1?
Border Post 1. I don't remember the date, but you know what I'm trying to explain is this, Eric. Whatever, you know, how the situation is being described in Mandera as, you know, foreign troops occupying Mandera is different. Life in Mandera is okay. Yes, there is normalcy. There is tension. And every time there is tension over the border, it always spills over. Because these are the same people. Yeah.
So you're saying the tension that exists isn't unusual? Because you're saying there's tension, but you're also saying there's normalcy.
Yes.
Is the tension the normal?
There is normalcy on our side.
Okay.
Yes, but there is tension on the other side. And whenever there is tension on the other side, remember, these are the same people. Ethnically, they are intertwined. Even the sound is the same. You cannot even tell the difference if you take a picture on the other side and say it's happening on Kenya. The people are the same. They look the same. There is always tension on the other side, which I believe spills over.
Okay.
But not how it's being described, Mandera being taken over by foreign forces.
So when the residents were holding placards and saying we're under duress, schools are training, what would motivate that narrative vis-a-vis what is actually happening?
Right.
You know,
And given that, you just said even your relatives in Mandera, they've not been to border. You can't remember the last time they were at border.
No. He asked. I thought he was asking me.
Oh, you?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
But you do have relatives?
I have people, I have contacts over there. Yes, and there is normalcy. What is happening is just politics. And if you want to understand the politics of Somalia and the politics of Northeastern, it is clan-based.
Okay.
The people on this side and the politics on the other side spills over to this side. That's why you see some part of people and some counties in Northeastern who still have the border with the place are mum about it. And some are very loud about it. I don't want to get too much into detail. So this thing is being politicized. And, you know, being amplified maybe by one politician or a party, you know, losing its ground and trying to whip its people and emotions. So this thing is pure politics.
You talk about clans.
Yes.
There is the Dagodia clan.
Yes.
There is the Gare clan.
Yes.
There is the Murule clan.
Yes.
Which other clans are there?
Ogaden.
Ogaden clan.
Yes.
Are those the same clans that are across the other side of the border?
No, you know what happens is Ogaden is predominantly on Jubaland and Garissa and part of Wajir.
Okay.
And predominantly Wajir is occupied by the Dogodias who are very pragmatic about this issue. And then there is that Gare dominance in Mandera.
Yes.
Yes.
So in Mandera itself,
Yes.
Gare is the dominant clan.
Yes, yes.
And then we have
The Murule
and the Godia.
and an aspect of the Godia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you say that this is clan politics at play,
Yes.
how would you explain that? I mean, what is it that would be at play that would make leaders to come and say something that is happening is actually not happening?
You know, the Jubaland is predominantly lived by Ogaden. It's run. Ahmed Madobe is an Ogaden. And the Ogaden, they spill over to Garissa and some part of Wajir. And clearly why there is the mom there is silence on this part of
On
the
Wajir
border.
and Garissa.
Yes, but you know, there is. I cannot say there is clash between the Gare and the Ogaden, but you know, there is the political leaders. There is clash and of interest between the political leaders. When you see the party leader for UDM, for example, speak, and this is the statement he said: Kenya's national interest is with the federal government and not to protect a rogue state. Clearly tells you that his statement is based on a clan dynamic. Yes, and an interest dynamic.
We'll get.
How do you
make such a statement?
Yeah.
I want to come back to the Jubaland matter, and we'll hear from some of the leaders as well. But if I'm to understand you correctly, Mandera comes up in the news a lot in terms of insecurity.
Yes.
So how much of that is politically motivated or mismanaged, and how much of that is external threats?
You know, Janet, I told you, the problem is the same. The trigger is the same. But what has taken this thing a notch higher is rumors that, you know, a lot has been going on behind the curtain. Yeah, and you know, in politics of Kenya, whenever you see politicians crying foul or making loud noises, there are triggers and motivations. Yes.
Are we not Kenyans? I'm looking at some of the placards being held here. BPI farms, our school is closed. CS Murkomen must resign. Our school is not what? I can't remember. Are we not Kenyans too?
So how is CS Murkomen related to defense forces?
Police. Security. Yusuf Mohamed sends a message here. Says, I was born in Mandera. Na history ya Jubaland ni ukweli. Wako kwa within Kenyan territory. BP1 inakaribia sana Bulahawa, but Jubaland forces wako side ya Mandera, not side ya Somalia.
Wako side ya Mandera, si side ya Somalia. That's according to him.
That's according to him.
If you look
so we are getting a lot of
mixed reaction.
One thing I believe, there's a lot of conflicting information coming out of this. I have seen one of the media houses 2 days ago, they went to interview, they went to the school, went to the border, interviewed even people saying shida iko kwao, wanapigana uko kwao, si hapa kwetu.
And the school was operational.
Yes. So what I'm saying is nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, there is tension, but it's on the other side. The rest is just being dramatized and politicized.
Which is what
you're just on the issue of the frequent attacks.
Exactly. So I wanted to know, because he's saying it's politicized, then it's very hard to know when something is an external threat, a legit threat, and when something is political. Because we are the ones who receive this. We're not based there. When people are consuming this news and they hear insecurity in Mandera, for example, it's important that people now begin to understand how much of it is a threat, how much of it is an external threat, how much of it is politicized, without risking everything being seen as politicized to undermine an actual threat. Yeah. That's where my concern is. Yeah, it's a statement and a comment.
And a comment.
Yeah.
And like there's so much
and a thought
happening. I'm thinking through for the residents of Mandera. What does their typical security situation look like? Would it be unusual to see Jubaland forces in Kenya? Let me just start from there.
If at all it happened, I have no information of it happening.
Okay.
And if it happens, for example, even if it happens where I live in Nairobi, it will be of concern to me and to anyone else.
Good.
Yes. But now the problem is our leaders, our electoral leaders politicizing national security. There are things we can play politics around. But, you know, we cannot allow to be compromised by, you know, foreign countries to, you know, exchange things, you know, to politicize and to loud a situation that is most of the time not even there.
Yeah, what do they stand to gain by doing that?
I don't know. You know, maybe, you know, there is rumor that, you know, hands have been exchanged. Yeah, so the gain is personal.
Okay.
Yeah, there is nothing the people of Mandera are gaining from the hula balu.
It's quite troubling, and it will be bigger than that. Because, I mean, that is just two colors to impute things on national security, you know, in national media, on something as grave as that there has been infiltration into our soil by external forces. Because that could be a huge issue. Let's just recap what the governor said. Okay?
Yes.
So then we can react to that.
Yes.
And then later we'll have reactions from opposition leaders. Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Malo have also come to speak about it. I'm not sure whether Wagashi has gotten the bite of the governor.
Okay.
So we have,
next hour, yeah.
we want the governor. I wanted to find out whether we have Ali Roba. Ali Roba, the senator, because he also spoke about it, and you're the one you're referring to, the party leader of UDM and the former governor of the area. But let's hear just the governor first, and then get Abdi's response.
Interest we have in Somalia is peace. If they cannot peace and fight, then we have no business to involve in the internal affairs. They have opened a camp in BP1. BP1 primary school is now closed. And there are people who want to do exam in the next 1 month. How do you close a public school and turn it into a military training camp? Now, I request an immediate relocation of Jubaland force out of Mandera. Immediate. I want to tell them, if we don't do it, we'll do it ourselves.
Now,
This is serious.
Yeah.
now listening to this as a Kenyan, this is a Kenyan politician on a podium, a typical Kenyan politician on a table, on a podium. Because what he's saying is what we want in Somalia is peace and not to interfere in their internal affairs. So question one is, who is interfering in their internal affairs?
He's made the claim, and I think that's
Number two.
a really serious one.
Yes.
We can't gloss
Number
over
two,
it.
he said a school has been closed.
Yes.
I saw the director of education in Mandera County saying there's no school which has been closed. He even stated the number of schools in the county. Now, the third thing, what did he say? The third was...
It's been weeks. It's been weeks or months.
He said weeks, but it was still in regards to the school.
Yes. So now, if you look at the governor's sentiments and the senator's sentiments, it all boils down to interfering and rogue state of Jubaland. So what I'm trying to question is that, is their interest and their concern in security or interference of the internal affairs?
Which is fair. Again, but these are really big claims
Yep.
to make on a podium, like you said,
Yes.
when they're unsubstantiated.
Yes. And then you see on a Kenyan politician
I don't know
on a
who
table.
has the burden of proof
Listen,
on this.
again,
Yes.
listen.
Because I'd love to hear from Mandera residents. I hope they're
Yeah.
watching.
The last
and
statement-
Border Post 1 specifically,
Yes.
to tell us exactly what they see. Our number is 0719038858. I am hoping to hear from a Mandera resident so that it's clearly substantiated.
Yes.
Because the burden of proof is on either side. at
And
this
then the
point.
last statement he said was, a typical Kenyan politician, if they don't do it, we'll do it ourselves. How do you do it? It's just a typical Kenyan politician given a microphone to say what they
What would you want to hear, Abdulaziz? How would you want them to address this matter? Or are you saying,
No,
which
this
you
is a
repeated,
matter
it's
of
not-
national security. It's something that we should be cautious about. Insecurity in Mandera is insecurity in Nairobi.
Yes.
It's not something we should dramatize, politicize. The best way to address this is through the right channels. Not to, hold press conference, presser after presser after presser, until it becomes, so dramatic. And, and then there's conflicting information coming out of the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll continue with this conversation with Abdulaziz
Yeah.
Mohamed
And then,
in the next hour.
yeah.
We're just going into a break. And yes, to Mariam's point, if we can get somebody, just residents of Mandera, to just call in and let us know.
Especially anyone in BP1.
BP1, yes.
Border Post 1.
Yeah, please do. It's coming up to 9 a.m. We'll continue this conversation after the break, fixing the nation, one conversation at a time.
We're back in conversation with Abdulaziz Mohamed, discussing Mandera politics, what is happening there exactly, and national security, more importantly, the politicization of national security matters. And he was explaining, you've explained the clan dynamics, yes, and why the politicization. It's the how, because and I know you had many thoughts that you wanted to pick up on. It's the how, because if there are no Jubaland forces in Somalia, in Kenya, it should be incredibly obvious to all of us, right? And clear. The how it's done is what is baffling me. Because to make claims and say, you know what, it's been a month that this school has been occupied by forces from Jubaland. How? How?
Yeah, you know, Mariam, we came through a time when Al-Shabaab was butchering people in Mandera, left, right, center. Public buses were being stopped, people removed, and, you know, mercilessly killed. We did not hear such loud noise coming from the leaders then. And some of them were still in power. And why now? Is the question that I'm going to leave it with the viewers. Why not say then that if the government cannot remove Shabab, we are going to do it ourselves? Nobody said that. Yeah, and you know, the border stretches from Lamu to Mandera. Why Mandera only is the other question I should also leave to the viewers. Yeah.
You're leaving the questions to the viewers. We need some insights.
We need some insights. Planting, allowing people to share. I know in a few moments we'll just stand by with that clip of Eugene Wamalwa also saying that the situation in Mandera is troubling, and come back and also discuss it, because again, it's just trying to understand what is being politicized, what is truth. I just think it's highly fascinating that it's hard to decipher that and very dangerous across different issues. Right? It's become a thing where, to Abdulaziz's point, yeah, it's also been thrown to Kenyans, but it's very difficult to get to the crux of it. I can see that clip is ready. Maybe
Mandera is you know, like dystopia, utopia, very far away,
and it's
hard
here.
to reach. It's right here.
Yep.
The fact that
and maybe this conversation is important because it brings it closer. Because I'm sure what to ask.
And then, you know, this thing is blown out of proportion. And realistically, to an extent, you go through social media, you will think the Jubaland forces are coming to Nairobi next. They're that close. That's how they're making it look like. Yeah.
Okay.
When it's null and void. Neither here nor there.
Somebody is complaining and saying it seems like you're downplaying the matter. Our guest is trying to downplay this issue. If fighting in Somalia is spilling over to Kenya and it affects Kenyan citizens, this is something that has to be addressed.
And he said that.
Yeah, he did.
I think what he's disputing is the fact that there's Jubaland forces within
taking over
taking
soil.
Yeah, but
and even that word taking over.
The tension spills over.
Yes. Okay.
This is not what those leaders have said. We played the clip of the governor. The former governor, 10 years as the governor, and now the senator, Captain Ali Roba. When he was raising this issue, actually he released the entire statement. He says, shockingly, Jubaland forces are consolidating their strength inside Mandera town on Kenyan soil, literally taking over our community. This is a humiliation of our sovereignty. The absurdity of a regional state government fighting its federal government is akin to Mandera County government declaring war against the Republic of Kenya. Yet we are now hosting these foreign forces in our own town. He goes on to say, if the government fails to act immediately and decisively to remove Jubaland forces from Mandera County, we'll be forced to mobilize ourselves to defend our people, an outcome that will endanger peace and cause grave international embarrassment for Kenya. We make it plain. Our people come first, always. Kenya must act now.
Now, let me ask you something. The statement and the governor, there's a part I picked. He said, if Kenya does not do anything, we'll be forced to mobilize. So you see, what is, if at all their Jubaland forces are going to the senator, are they killing the citizens? When Al-Shabaab were murdering people, they never said we are going to mobilize ourselves and, you know,
and
fight
take care of
against
it
them.
ourselves.
Businesses are paralyzed, families are displaced in fear of stray bullets, RPGs, and unexploded ordnance.
Okay.
That is how serious he says it.
A former
but there's
resident.
no video evidence.
Right.
Yusufe
Mohamed, right, because that's also, again, a big claim. Yusufe says, this commander called Abdirashid Janan, wakati alikuwa na command Jubaland forces, mi mwenyewe ndio niliona water tankers za jeshi lake fetching water from the water wells in Mandera.
But Janan is not Jubaland force.
He says
Janan is
used to
formerly
be
Jubaland
used to
force,
be
yes.
Jubaland
And
and
now
is
with the
now
national
national. And when he was Jubaland, wakati alikuwa na command Jubaland, mi mwenyewe ndio niliona water tankers zake za jeshi fetching water from the water wells in Mandera,
which was 2019, and there was no this loud noise around it.
Okay, let's listen into DAP-K party leader on what his remarks were with regards to what's happening in Mandera.
We know what it means when it touches on the security of the people of Mandera County and the people of this country. So kwa hivyo leo tunataka tuambie Bwana Murkomen, tunataka tuone ya kwamba hatua zimechukuliwa. wale wanajeshi wa Somaliland watolewe kule Mandera, wananchi wa Mandera wakae kwa usalama. Mtawaombea jamani? Na tutaki tusikie Murkomen. Jambo hili linaguza waziri wa ulinzi. Does this country have a CS of defense or not?
It is unconstitutional, it is unethical for this government to allow men armed, bearing arms, to cross and violate our sovereignty, and then you pretend nothing is happening. So I hope they have heard me, because now nikiongea mambo haya, I speak with authority, with experience, and with knowledge, and I dare anybody contradict that. Hiyo sio maneno ya kimzaha. Waombee hao walioko mamlakani wasarende mapema, ikiwa this is what they are doing, kusarenda mipaka yetu, sovereignty yetu, na kuharibu jina la nchi ya Kenya.
Okay. Now,
this is serious. Huh?
Yes,
this is a former,
no, it's not
former vice president.
It's not serious. It sounds serious. I don't blame their ignorance because they are.
This is a former vice president of Kenya who was very instrumental in bringing peace to Somalia. This is a former defense minister of Kenya who was instrumental when Kenyan troops went to Somalia. Now, those two are saying they're speaking from point of knowledge.
One thing you forgot, the other title you forgot, they are Kenyan politicians. In Nairobi, given the microphone and had to say something, and they had to pick on what was trending on that week.
Without context.
Without context. They got information from social media, and I don't blame their ignorance.
Wow. Question, should we be sympathetic to Jubaland forces because they help us fight Al-Shabaab? That's a question from Michael Mwangi. Should we be sympathetic to Jubaland forces because they help us fight Al-Shabaab?
Jubaland forces or Jubaland state plays a pivotal role in ensuring the safety of the lives of people of Mandera, because this state acts as a buffer zone.
So
that is self-explanatory.
That's a yes.
Exactly. We'll have to continue this conversation because it is of national importance, and I think it's important to try and understand all the different dynamics. But we do have to end Fixing the Nation early today. Mariam Bishar, Eric Latif, Janet Bogwa. We had Abdulaziz Mohamed, who has been talking to us about Mandera politics. We will actually come back to him. Just a heads up that we're going to be crossing over to the Africa Employers Summit. The theme is Empowering Business to Advance Social Justice in just a moment. Abdulaziz, we've said many things and tried to get to many truths. What's sort of like your parting shot, and even what you want to leave Kenyans with in terms of how we need to be looking at this issue? Yeah.
And what I want to tell Kenyans is that let's not look at this thing with face value. Let's dig deeper and understand the dynamics that is at play. This thing has been there, the trigger has been there, what has changed, and what and how. Yes. Let's not politicize national security. I am somebody who does not support this current government, but I support the national security I prioritize on our security, because an instability in Mandera means an instability in Nairobi, or so is Mombasa. Yeah.
Thank you, Abdulaziz, for coming. I think we'll need to continue this conversation because there's a lot still that needs to be answered from the county, from the National Police Service and our intelligence services, from the residents and from their perspective, and even from a diplomatic perspective. Zote ni maswali, sindio? But asante for giving us some context into this conversation, and of course helping us see the politicization of our security matters, especially when it comes to the north, is something that we'll continue pulling the thread on. But we do have to go into that live now on the Federation of Kenya Employers, right?
Yes.
And do we know the location where they are at? We'll just throw it over there. And of course, make sure that you watch, get to know what's happening on ground. We'll continue the conversation tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Of course, kesho ni Money Tuesday. It's Tuesday as well. So some good convos there to be had. But thank you so much. Asante sana Abdul kwa kuja. Tuendelee conversation. So put a pin in that. Let's go over to the live now. From myself, Mariam Bishar, of course, Janet Mbogwa, and Eric Latif. Have an amazing, amazing Monday morning and a start to the week. We'll be back here at 6 a.m. to Fix the Nation.